We're Team Hulk Smash, and we're here to show you how emotional intelligence affects decision-making under risk or uncertainty. Contrary to traditional thinking in early psychology, emotions have been consistently shown to play an active role in decision-making. We will present our case in 3 mini demonstrations, all of which will have a control group who has not been trained in the task at hand, along with the experimental group, who has a higher emotional intelligence related to the task.
First up will be the Iowa Gambling Task, or IGT, as another experiment to simulate real-life decision-making between a control group and the trained experimental group. In this task, participants are presented with 4 virtual decks of cards on a computer screen. They are told that each time they choose a card, they will win some game money. Every so often, however, choosing a card causes them to lose some money. The goal of the game is to win as much money as possible. Some decks are bad decks, and other decks are good decks, because some will lead to losses over the long run, and others will lead to gains. Every participant starts with a total of $2,000. Joey will be running the control group demonstration, having never completed the gambling task. During the experimental group demonstration, Ahmed knows that there are good decks, and will consistently pick those in order to get the maximum return at the end of the test. As you can see, Ahmed was able to gain an amount of $4,700, while Joey, representing the control group, was able to put together $1,600. Sometimes we let our impulses blind us from seeing the best choice at hand. Ahmed, while taking the Iowa gambling test, understood that certain decks led to the best outcome, maximizing his profit. Joey, on the other hand, operated under impulse, frustration, and a desire to quickly complete the game. As a result, his profit was significantly lower.
For our last highly sophisticated experiment, Cole will play Amnesia: The Dark Descent, a survival horror game where he's the protagonist exploring a dark castle who must fight off monsters as well as other obstructions. Since he has played the game multiple times, he will be the experimental group. In contrast, here is a video of someone who is experiencing the game for the very first time.
Okay, my frame rate's working again, and I'm gonna go check. Oh my god! Some scary shit go down in a room with a bunch of chains.
One must learn to let go, hold themselves back, and optimize the result from their situation.
Oh shit, I have a bag of Milky Way!
Cole has been through this game and knows how to conduct himself when dealing with the creature at hand. Our Milky Way friend, on the other hand, does not. Consider exam 3. How many people found it more stressful? The answer is likely that you did. The reason being that the sudden change in format created a new, unfamiliar situation. Additionally, the test now came with higher risks, as wrong answers now resulted in negative points. Much like the Iowa gambling tasks, students were likely drawn into answering questions they weren't sure about, despite the risk, given the incentive of a higher grade. Of course, the average was a 53, showing that this method of response is not optimal. Had all previous exams followed the same format, I speculate that student response would have been drastically better.
The results of these experiments indicate an increase in performance for all trained subjects. This indicates that repetition and simulation assist in the suppression of a detrimental emotional response. In the IGT task, the trained subject, Ahmed, tended to make smaller, low-risk decisions to maximize his overall gain, knowing that overall, the large losses incurred from the high-value decks were ultimately ineffective. In Amnesia, the trained subject, Cole, was able to calmly navigate each level, having a feel for the game and understanding the mechanics, and as seen, the untrained subject acted irrationally, often running aimlessly. Furthermore, these results point to the importance of training in the suppression of knee-jerk emotional responses when making decisions under stress or uncertainty. Simulation, a more immersive form of training, is even more effective. In the Amnesia demo, Cole, who had played the game before, was practically unaffected by the otherwise terrifying aspects of the game. In regard to the last exam, taken in this class, suppressing panic over the format change and being more familiar with how to deal with the scoring rubric potentially would have led to a higher average. Emotions can either bar progress or inhibit one's ability to make the best choice for the given situation. This is not to say emotions are bad. If they only led to undesirable outcomes, then surely evolutionary processes would have stripped them from human behavior years ago. What is in fact important is that we, as humans, learn how to identify what emotions are acting on us and how much of each one we will allow to contribute to our decisions. This is known as emotional intelligence, and you utilize it every day. No matter how keen this intelligence is in regard to yourself, you must exercise it and strengthen it as much as possible. Why? Because you have emotions.